Okay. You've already gone through this. You're going to raise your prices by at least 20%, if not more. Do you want to do the math so that you have security to know how many clients you need to drop? Would that be beneficial?
I would say 20% on 65, we would be about $15.
Yep, right around that. Okay, so if you went from $65 to $80. Okay, so let's do the math real quick. On average, let's stick with, what is it you do in sales a month?
It depends, like, it's on a slow month, 12,000, and on a good month, 26,000.
I want to celebrate that with you because those are amazing goals, but it's like you're so tired and you're so burned out. I'm like, that's the costing you your soul. Okay, so let's just average it at 15,000 a month. And then okay, so if we do that. So that's about 3,750 a week. Okay, and in a week, how many clients do you see on average?
I mean, a day is about anywhere from 10 to 20. So
15.
60 will be that. 60,
okay.
yeah.
All right, so 60 clients a week. And we're doing 3,750 a week, so divided by 60 clients. Oops. So yeah, that works out to be about $62.50, which is right around your $65 price point. Okay. All right. So here's where we get to have fun with the math. Let's do an $80 average appointment, right? So we're going to do our price increase up to $80. So now in order to reach our $3,750 a week at the $80 price point, we only need 46.875. We'll round up to 47. It's hard to have, 3/4 of a client. They tend to be a little awkward. All right. So now instead of 60 clients a week, you can drop up to 13 clients in a week and still be making the exact same amount of money.
Well, so I do have some clients on memberships too. So they're only
you got wrapped into membership. So you're discounting unnecessarily.
55 is what their memberships are.
Okay. Okay. So you can also raise your membership price. So even if you did that 20%, what I'm trying to teach you here is that you can increase your sales and lower your time, or keep your sales the same and lower your time. What typically ends up happening, because that's what, 10, it's like a 20% drop in your clientele. You can afford at that price point to drop 20% of your clients. That's going to free up some time, is it not?
It is.
That's freeing up an entire day. Is it not? You said you take about 60 clients a week. Okay, so maybe it's 50. So what would that do for you?
I could finally clean my house and get some office work done.
Sleep, you could rest, you'd have time for therapy, right? And doing that work. You would also have time and capacity to be able to train a team member, because right now, a team member coming into the poop show that you have going on, when are you going to train them?
So with that, I do block out their 2 days a week, but I extend the hours. So before, I actually used to work 12 hours a day, and I blocked it down from 9 to 6.
Okay.
So
okay, good. So you do have the ability to create time for team members. You just don't do it for yourself.
Yeah.
Interesting. Everybody else comes first before Tori. Yet if Tori's not okay, where's the business? How are these team members going to have a livelihood if Tori's not okay? Right?
True.
We take care of Tori first. Then Tori has the capacity to be able to make decisions about the business and learn about how to run the business smarter and not harder, and manage and inspire them and impact their lives, which is what fills Tori up and what Tori's purpose is. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, I was trying to charge my phone. It was about to die on you.
That's okay.
Now we're back to where we were.
Whole dying Mac kind of day. Okay. So it's not the money you have to get time back. You either just cut down your hours and you don't book outside of those, and you are disciplined to do that. And you recognize that that is what's essential for you to stay in business. And if you're struggling with the financial side of it, then you raise your prices and cut back on hours. And I'll give you one more little bonus tip. If you have a team, this may not work, but when you're solo business artist or solo business owner, the optional price increase strategy after you've just done one, and what typically tends to happen is clients don't drop off, because when you're at the level of increasing your prices because you're overbooked, is that clients don't drop off, is that you pull back on the hours that you want to work. And those are now your operating hours. And they can be whatever you want, 9 to 12, 9 to 5, doesn't matter to me, but whatever is reasonable. Anybody who wants to book outside of those hours pays an after hours fee, and you can charge whatever you want. So I just raised my prices, clients didn't drop off, and it didn't work to get me more time back. The next strategy we put into place is pulling back on our operating hours, because most people at that level are working more than 8 hours a day. So if you pull back to only being open 6 hours a day, 4 to 5 days a week, clients need to pre-book if they want their preferred appointment time, or they risk not getting an appointment. And if they want to come in outside of those operating hours, there's an increase to that service cost by way of an after hours fee. I've had people charge $20, $50, even $100 for an after hours fee, because there is a cost to coming in and working more. Your body, your health, your weight, having to pay for childcare, having to order food in instead of being able to cook a home cooked meal, not being able to grocery shop. There are costs to working more than a typical standard working hour.
See, I think that's my problem is, like, I do give so much to my clients, because even like we're packing up, I'm moving from, I live 5 miles from work right now. I'm about to be 2 blocks away. And I already told some of my clients, I'm like, yeah, I'll be right down the street. Like, if you need me, I got you, I'll be here.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like, why did I do that? And then, like, when I grew up, like, as I said, I didn't have my mom growing up, and I raised my little brother and my sister. And since my dad and my mom were divorced, they had me at a young age. And so my dad hustled his way out of the back of his truck, and he was paving and sealing people's driveways. And now he has a functional business, and people value him and look up to him, and they respect him, and he's well known all through California. And he just, day in, day out, he could be as sick as a dog and he still goes to work. So I feel like too, like, I'm trying to like get approval from him too, like, hey, I could be just like you, I got this.
Oh,
like
girl, I resonate with that so much. I thought if I out-earned my dad, then I would have a different relationship with him.
Yeah.
Didn't work. He's still the same person, and I out-earned him. So this is great conversation for a therapist. It would be inappropriate for me to do that with you just because I'm not a licensed therapist.
Yeah.
But that, if you create time to go work on yourself, your business is a direct reflection of you. We don't have anybody else to blame when we're a business owner, right? Because we call the shots, we sign the paychecks. So if you're unhappy with how your business is, it's you that needs the work to get to a great place to where then your business is just your business. Imagine if you felt worthy, deserving, happy, joyful, whether business was good or not. And then you just look at what the data is telling you in the business, and that's what informs your decisions on what the business needs, not what you need.
Yep.
Oh, it's a powerful place to be. And that has been my journey this past year. That is what has been the game changer for me, and why people are seeing such a difference in how I show up. I was able to lose 40 pounds over the past 6 months. Like, I got capacity back because I stopped putting so much meaning on an external result. Okay.
That's my goal to, because I used to be so much thinner and in shape and healthy. And even my boyfriend, like, he was very healthy too, but I feel like I dragged him into my lifestyle, and he now works 6 days a week when before he didn't. And he ended up becoming diabetic and ended up in ICU and almost passed away. So definitely some changes we got to make.
A lot of changes, great changes. Hard changes, but great changes. Because Tori, the very beginning of this conversation, we talked about the impact that you could have.
Yeah.
In order for there to be impact, we need Tori. And Tori's just a shell right now. There's not much of Tori to pour out, to give to other people, because she's so depleted. And it's your responsibility to fill up your own cup. In order to do that, you have to have capacity, and you have to love yourself, and you have to take care of yourself. And that is the work to do. If I was in your shoes, I wouldn't be looking at hiring more people. I wouldn't even be focusing on my business. I would look at the work for my life and the business. The best thing I can do is invest in myself and healing what needs to heal, uncovering what needs to be uncovered, so that I can actually create the impact and the growth that's possible. And you may not even want all of that. Once you get healed, you may be like, wow, that was really stressful. And I would much rather not do that, because I'm happy whether I'm doing business or not. I don't need all these people's approval. And it opens up a world of possibility for you to just focus on the things that give you pleasure, that bring you joy, that light you up, that are in alignment with who you are, rather than chasing for approval in all the wrong places.
Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. And even like when you're talking about this, like what I think about is how, like, I already started making a class for sugaring, and I do teach classes. And
With
like
all
how
your extra free time.
yes, in between clients, I create the classes, then I type it up and all that good stuff. But like I looked at you as, you were doing your clients, and then you decided, like, you moved, went to Tennessee, and now you do this. And it gave you your time, and you focused on yourself and stuff. And even if I have my company now, work on myself, and then I switch and just maybe teach people, because I do get more joy out of teaching people, because I have taught some people that learned sugaring, and then when I see them do it, I'm like, you're joking, right? Like, this isn't what you were taught.
That's not quite the same effect.
And then I'll teach them, and like what used to take them 45 minutes now takes them 15. And they're like, wow, your techniques and this and that, like, it really changed everything.
Yeah, we got to wrap up the episode, but I'm going to share just my journey on how I got to where I am.
Yeah.
I was very intentional about starting an online business model prior to getting pregnant with my daughter. I wanted to step away from being appointment-based because I wanted the lifestyle of being more present with my kids and having flexibility with my time.
Yeah.
So I got pregnant faster than I thought I would. And then I was sick for 9 weeks because I'm miserable as pregnant. And that kind of pushed the pedal to the metal on getting the Lashpreneur kind of established and not just being a side hustle. And I also had to pull back from clients because I was so sick those first 9 weeks. So when I came back from being sick, I lightened my client load, knowing I was going to take maternity leave, give myself maternity leave. And when I came back, I was going to be full-time Lashpreneur and not go back to lashing clients. Because again, the end goal I was working towards was to not be appointment-based and have an online business that was enough to be able to provide for my family. Maybe not well, but just something. So those were very intentional steps. So if you look at the end goal that you want, like if you want to be all in on education, then don't hire out a team right now. Don't keep building out this other business model. Make decisions and stop doing shiny object and just laser focus in on what's going to get me to this goal quicker, faster, easier, better. Right? Because there's probably a lot of things that you're doing that you're like, oh, well, I want to get the physical location established in a well-oiled machine that I can step away and do this. But the reality of that happening anytime soon, that usually takes several years to get your business where you can be an absentee owner to then focus in on something else, when it could be just as easy as I'm only working 2 or 3 days a week so that I can focus solely on education and build out the education business model so I can step away from being a service provider and having a service-based business and fully step into educator. If that's the end goal, make decisions based on that end goal, not, well, how can I have my hands everywhere because I need my needs met? Again, full circle moment here, right?
Yeah.
All right, Tori, thank you so much. I know we could go into like 6 different episodes on this.
Seriously, yes. Yes.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on and opening up so much. I think you've been the most vulnerable we've had and just being so real and transparent. I know, gosh, I mean, I even resonated with so much with what you're saying. And I know that there's hope and life will get easier. You just need to prioritize yourself and do whatever
Yep.
you've got to do to make sure that you are okay first, and the rest will fall into place. I promise you that. I am example of that. I'm living proof of that. This time where I was last year, I was not prioritizing myself, but I wouldn't take the hardships I had to go through to get to where I am today, because it's a world of difference.
Yeah.
So you have hope. All right, Tori, thanks so much. I appreciate you coming on. Hope you guys were able to take a lot from this episode, and we will see you next week. Have a good one.